Let's talk history of the rushing quarterback for fantasy football. I have 5 years of data, impacts of 300 plus rushing yards, 500 plus rushing yards, and who can hit these numbers in 2023. So when we refer to a rushing quarterback, aka the Konami code quarterback for fantasy football, we think of a safer floor, higher ceiling for scoring. Obviously, for fantasy football, there's tons of other variables outside of rushing. We're talking passing yards, passing attempts, passing touchdowns, interceptions, etc. So here's a list from 2018 through 2022 of quarterbacks that hit 300 plus rushing yards. And if we look at the averages on the bottom, what it means for fantasy football, the average fantasy finish was 11.6, so a quarterback won. The fantasy points per game, 19.5, which is solid. Now the data set for 500 plus rushing yards is much smaller. Again, 2018 through 2022, that is the list. And we'll take a look at those fantasy finish averages, which would be 8.94, obviously a bit different than 11.6. And then we went from 19.5 fantasy points per game to 20.99, solid. So who could hit 500 plus rushing yards in 2023? Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson. I will also add Josh Allen. I forgot to mention him in this list. Daniel Jones, and Anthony Richardson, pending he actually starts and plays most of the season. Now for 300 plus rushing yards, under 500, I'd say Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes are pretty good locks there. I'd also add the names of Trevor Lawrence, Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, Kyler Murray if he's healthy, and Trey Lance if he wins the job. Why does this list matter? Because we just saw the average fantasy finishes and the fantasy points per game for quarterbacks that hit 300 plus and 500 plus rushing yards. So these guys here have the opportunity to do that and would be appealing for fantasy football. Go draft rushing quarterbacks.